space for real conversations with those that I love, that I've had many experiences with, that have been mirrors, that have been mentors, all of the above. Ultimately, this is just a space for us to sit down and have real conversations where the stories fall aside and that we can truly just allow what to flow through, what is on our heart, what is spirit wanting to say through us, and for us to receive through one another. My premise behind it is we go home 2 by 2, and this is just a real active representation, living proof of exactly what that concept is. It's a witness to what it looks like to truly practice daily the concept of healing is through your brother, healing is through your sister. So I'm very, very excited for today's guest. As always, every guest and every conversation I am so excited for. Today I have on Julie Hamilton. And I know I say I have on, but really it's just a conversation. Julie and I have conversations all the time, and we get into detail right away of how we met and how it was this moment that we call a sparkle moment. What is a sparkle moment? Well, you'll have to tune in to find out, but essentially it was the sparkle that brought us together, and we trusted that sparkle, and we trusted the inner guidance to continue to see where that brings us. And, you know, it's been 3 years of so much unwinding together, so much of mirroring to one another, so much healing together, to the point that in the end, we really share that we're at this space of just openness where anytime one needs something or thinks of the other, there's just this beautiful symmetry, this beautiful synchronicity, I guess you could say, of how we always find ourselves being right in that space together. So I don't have a lot to share because it's just so powerful in our conversation. And like I said in episode 1, I don't always remember a lot of these conversations because they're so led from a place of spirit and so present in the moment that I just hope that you can garner that same feeling when you listen to it. So here is Julie and Ashley just having an honest, real conversation in real time. So much love. All right, here we go.
Hello.
I'm so glad we're together.
I know.
And like it happened so randomly. I think that's the beauty of it, is that we talked about recording an episode. That wasn't the issue, but we hadn't scheduled anything. And then I was supposed to meet with Tommy yesterday, and he got sick. And so I was like, oh, I'll just skip the week. And then I was on the Peloton this morning, and I was like, ask Julie if she's busy today. And I was like, hey, you busy? And literally I gave you 2.5 hours?
Yeah. Well, but it was funny because when I first saw it, and then I just got off the phone with my friend that I haven't talked to in like over a year. So we just had this most beautiful conversation and reconnection and like all the things that have been going on in life. And I was feeling very high from that conversation. I was. And then I saw your text and I was like, I made myself pause because I'm like, all right, am I going to people please here and just say yes because I want to do it for her? Mm-hmm. Or do I want to do it?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is literally the only day before I leave on Tuesday to fly back to Oxford. This is the only afternoon I have free because I have other appointments and stuff. And so I was like,
random.
I was like, if I get to spend an hour and a half or whatever with Ashley, yeah, great.
I know. I love our time. And like, when it's so weird. I mean, just for some, I guess we could give some context to any of the listeners. We've known each other, 2.5 years now? Almost 3?
It'll be 3 in February.
Oh, yeah, oh my God.
We met in February.
And it's so hard for me because we met when I lived in Florida, and it's hard to remember seasons in Florida because like every day is the same. So it felt like what would have been in Minnesota, like a hot July day. I remember I wore a dress. I walked there and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be sweaty.
It was February, like middle of February.
Crazy. So 3 years ago, I mean, let's just share it. Like, because I feel like this is a really beautiful moment of connection, and like one of those moments that you can't plan, right? You can't plan it at all. But on my side, so I had a friend, but I was big into networking at that time, but I was really strictly going to what was called the Girl Boss group in St. Pete. And she's like, let's venture out. Let's try other places. And so she had found, what was it? Action Coach? Is that what it was called through?
I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This guy was speaking and it was an event and it was supposed to be like a networking event. Ultimately, it turned out that he like presented to us and wanted us to purchase Action Coaching, but still, it made some great connections, and they had us sit together at lunch. Was it lunch?
No, the whole thing.
Was it the whole thing? Yeah,
we
just didn't
sat
start
at your
talking
table
until lunch.
Maybe. Yeah, like maybe we did an intro like in the moment because that was it. And then we probably didn't get to speak really and got to know each other till lunch. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I just remember thinking they're like, you got like colors or whatever, and it was based on what your profession was. Yeah, and it was, they sat everyone together, like all the coaches together, all the marketing people together, all this, all that. And I literally remember thinking this, Julie, I'm like, well, that sucks. Like, I'm going to sit with a bunch of coaches, like, you know, and one of my mottos at that time was, if you're a coach, you need a coach. But still in my mind, I was like, all right, well, this is going to be, you know, fruitless. Maybe I'll make some friends or something at most. And then we sat next to that dentist guy that was like sleeping the whole time. He like owned his own dentist. He's like, I don't want to be here. And you connected with his like lady. So ultimately, go ahead.
That's not my recollection.
Yeah. So like, what's your recollection of it? Like totally different.
I was in a place of, I was in the middle of, or in the beginning of making a big change, and I had stopped drinking the beginning of the year. So January 1, I had a coach that was helping me with my relationship with alcohol. And so, like you said, this thing came up that was in Tampa that I was an action coach, like a networking event. And I was very much, this is middle of February, so I'm, let's say 6 weeks into this no drinking state. And I was like, same thing. I was like, all right, well, great, let's go. I don't know anyone here. I don't know any coaches here. I was working as a consultant prior to that, so I was constantly gone. So I really didn't have a network of people in St. Pete. So I was definitely in a place of like, I want to meet people. Mm-hmm. And especially when you stop drinking, I was like, wasn't doing the normal things that I would, you know, go out to different restaurants and things that I was used to. So I was like, okay, so I signed up. I had randomly received a message about it on LinkedIn. Like, this event is happening in Tampa on this day, February, whatever, 20 something. And I was like, cool. It's total marketing. But I was like, whatever, I'll go. So I went, but I had some similar thoughts of like, I'm going, I don't know anyone here. I'm just going to this thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's going to be something I want or don't want. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking up to the place, and there's like a line out the door.
It was
people.
Huge.
It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm standing there and I'm like, all right, well, great, whatever. So I'm walking in, and I remember coming in to the registration. There's a long line to get into registration, and then there's like a line of people like this, like snaking or around to get into the room. And I saw you. I remember seeing you because you looked so cute. You had on your a black dress and yellow sneakers. Yeah. And I don't know, I just was like, oh, she looks so cute. You and your friend.
Yeah, Kimberly.
Both looked the same, black dresses and like tennis shoes, you know, sneakers. And I don't know. That's the only people I remember seeing at this thing was you. And so, like you said, they give you the whatever table to sit at, but like a color, like, and I think it was green, and there's multiple green tables though. Like, I just walked in and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, this color, this color, this color. Oh, green. Okay, great. And I sat down, and you were there.
Right
and I
next
sat down
to
next
me.
to you. Yeah, I sat down next to you.
Yeah, and my first remembrance of you, I don't know if you have them on because you kind of stopped wearing them recently.
Oh.
No? that you used to have, like, it was these, my grandma used to make them and her friends, and it's like a beaded wrap
The
bracelet that's
beaded
like,
wraps.
yeah, that's on leather, and you had the most
Oh yeah.
beautiful
Oh yeah.
shiny one.
Tory. It was a Tory Burch or somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I had
ever.
the. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I
Love
remember
that.
like, oh my gosh, this lady, that's beautiful. She's got good taste. Like, I remember thinking like there was like this connection, this correlation.
Mm.
Um
Mm.
and we talk about like, I think it's so cool because like how you notice me and how I notice you is kind of like how we talk about like that shininess in things, like when all of a
Yeah.
sudden something
Sparkle.
yeah, the sparkle, when something sticks out more. It even could be
Mm-hmm.
like a thing, it could be an item, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be whatever. And it's really just like what I think kind of what we've all come to the conclusion of. It's like a wink of like, okay, this is a part of your journey, but maybe not today,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
years ahead of time. But it's like, yeah, I don't, like, you explain more like what you think of like the sparkle. We talk about it so much all the time, the sparkle.
Well, I want to say more about the yellow tennis shoes because I think what now, I can say 3 years later, 3 years into this relationship, is when I was a kid, my favorite tennis shoes when I went to horse camp, like my favorite time in my childhood, if you ask me, was when I went to horse camp.
Yeah.
I went 2 years in a row, and I had yellow Nikes with the blue swoosh.
I don't think you've ever told me that.
Oh, I had yellow Nikes. I have pictures of it. That's partly how I remember, but also I think I just loved them so much. And I think that was part of what I saw,
The connection.
where I was like, wow, that's very brave and bold, and like to wear yellow tennis shoes with a pretty black, like a black dress. And I don't know, that spoke to me for sure.
Oh. You know what's so cool about that? Like, I don't know if I've ever told you the story of the yellow tennis shoes. I did a
don't think
video
so.
on it, I think. Maybe I didn't. But like, so the yellow tennis shoes, it was after my divorce. And essentially, I was married since I was with my ex-husband since pretty much I left the house.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the majority of my life, I didn't really develop the ability to decipher what I liked versus doing for others. Because I was even like that in high school and stuff. But
Yeah.
I remember after my divorce, and then after I went through a really dark time and then started to come up the other side, I loved yellow, and I loved those yellow Reeboks. That's what I was wearing. Yellow tennis shoes. And I remember having in my cart forever. And then the day I used to poll people. We've talked about polling. I used to like ask people like, what do you think of these? What do you think of these? And then that would help me make my decision. And so
Yeah.
I actually caught myself polling people like, what do you think of these? And literally it was a resounding, those are hideous. Those are ugly. Those are awful. And I remember waking up one morning and I'm like, I love those. Why wouldn't, like, who cares? And I ordered them. And like, I got so much grief from people that are like, you look like Ronald McDonald. Oh, how, like, how's Big Bird doing? Like all these different things. And I just loved those tennis shoes so much. And I think it's kind of like, we always talk about like our inner child, inner teenager, all that. And I was always such a follower when it came to fashion because my fashion sense didn't align with others, and I always thought everybody looked so much better or whatever. But yeah, it just was like a huge pivotal moment for me. So I love, that's like how we connect. Because then also like I spoke to you because of what I said I did, right? Like inner child work.
Inner child work.
Yeah, and which
you
is,
said you were an inner child coach, and that's exactly what I was seeking. So it is interesting to your point, is if I was in a state of knowing, like I was in a relationship at the time that my inner child was being activated like crazy, and I didn't know what that meant totally, but I just knew that I could feel that it was like a childlike part of me that was reacting to this partner. And I didn't know how to, and he reminded me of my dad, and I just didn't know what to do about it. I just didn't know what to do about it other than to say, I think I need a coach. Like, I'm a coach. I think I need, like you said, I think I need a coach in this specific area. And so seeing you wearing the yellow tennis shoes, which is what I wore when I was 8.
Can't make that up.
probably spoke to me or pulled me into you. And so I sat by you.
Yeah.
I didn't intentionally see you at the table. I just was like, oh, green table. Oh, that's that girl that I saw in the line. Like there were multiple green tables. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's so cool when you think about like how we're guided on our journeys through like our preferences. You know, that was a preference from years ago for you, and like it's so aligned with what you were looking for. Like the little girl in you loved those shoes, and you were looking for an inner child worker. And we've also like talked since, and I've even told you this, that like at that point I was, you know, still working on like what my title was or this or that. And so it just depended on how I felt in the moment, what I would say. And now it's like even more like way off the rails. Like who knows what I'm going to tell people that I do. But like what were the chances in that moment that I literally said that? Because I think you know, like at one time I've been like a mentor for leaders. And when I'm in like the ego or a place of like lack in wanting things, I try to cater it to the people. And so to me, it wouldn't have made sense to say inner child worker. It would have been like coach of coaches. That would have been a really good thing to say, right? Like, oh, that they put me with all the coaches, so now I'm gonna say I'm a coach of coaches, you know, like. So
yeah, I think the other thing, because I worked in healthcare for 25 years and you are a social worker, and so I think that spoke to me too. So I think it was a combination of things that started to just like line up. Like I felt the initial attraction and energy. And then, yes, you said you were an inner child coach. And then in addition, you said you were a social worker. And I was like, that resonates with me from a credential experience, you know, the things that as an executive, I would have been like, well,
this is just
whatever. I think it just it's just I think it's just an example of all the things that line up when you're when you're drawn to somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Or drawn to any, I mean, because even like, I mean, there's so many different things we could talk about with that, Julie, like you going to Oxford and how like that, like you first applied to, I always get it wrong. Stanford. No. Oh, I got it right. I think I usually say Harvard, but yeah, Stanford. You applied for Stanford and it felt like, it just felt like it was kind of like,
it didn't feel good.
Blunk. Yeah, it felt clunky. But then all of a sudden when Oxford opened up, it was like, it was almost like I blinked my eyes and Julie's on an airplane to go to Oxford. Like that's how aligned it was. It was like, I mean, there's a lot of steps in between there.
Of course, yeah. But it felt much more natural than Stanford was like, this is the only school I might want to go to, but I don't want to live in that place. And so I was like, I'm going to make myself do this to go to the school. And then Oxford opened up and I was like, I don't have to make myself do anything. I just want to go.
And I think that speaks to like the ease and the peace, and like you've leaned so much into the ease. And I think like our relationship, the two of us, has been, I feel like, at least from my point of view, that has been like a huge backbone to our relationship, is even like the ease of like, think of how we met, like how easily, you couldn't have made that up. You couldn't have planned that. You couldn't have sought that. It just was like, here.
It just happened, yeah.
Yeah, and then like how we continuously, like even today, right? We have this relationship, and I even wrote, I was like, no pressure at all, because I knew, I was like, okay, don't be triggered or people pleaser, because you have so much going on right now. And like I didn't know like where you were at in the moment. Like we haven't chatted since Friday or Monday. We haven't chatted since Monday. So people are probably like, oh, that was just the other day. But if you know, you know. And so, like, we just try to do everything out of ease. Like, even our trips to Bon Air and everywhere else. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's been one of the most helpful things that our relationship has taught me, is the distinction between feeling easeful versus when I'm forcing something to happen, or when I'm and especially when I'm worrying about something, like I want to do it right now. And it's like, it's maybe not meant to happen right now. And it
Right.
will, and then it will happen on the next day or a different day. And it's like, oh my God, that was so much more easeful that I just like let that happen when it was meant to happen, instead of being like, well, I woke up and I want to make myself do it today, I'm going to force it. I think that has been such a significant lesson for sure.
Yeah. And I think because like, I don't know, many people listening too, I know when you came to Bonaire and when we met up in Amsterdam, some of the people that are closer to you were like, what? She's your coach. Like, you can't go do that. You know, like, what's going to happen to the dynamics? And I don't know. I think, like, it's done the opposite. It's made us, like, even more clear. Because we went through so many things together. I mean, we could dive into that if we wanted to. But I do, before we, like, dive into that, I want to bring one thing up. The video you sent me. So you sent
Which
me...
one?
Well, yeah, that's
like,
the other
which
thing.
one?
Lately, Julie, you've been sending me all these reels on Instagram saying, what do you write? They are too, or what is it? You literally say this one statement.
Us or something. This is us, or I don't know.
Or we're not the only ones, or something like that.
We're not the only ones? Okay.
Yeah. And so the most recent one is of Kris Jenner with all the little Jesuses.
Oh, the little Jesuses. Yes.
In her pocket. So... Yeah.
And she said, and somebody said to her about like, are you leaving them everywhere you go? Are you leaving them all around the house? And I started laughing. I'm like, yes, I am.
I know, yes, right? Me too. I literally have them everywhere. I mean, hers look like maybe hers are ceramic. They're probably made by Louis Vuitton or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But I love ours because you just whatever. But
darling, yeah.
What came to me when you're sending all these, but especially that. So I reshared it. Julie, I've been getting so many messages from friends and like my mentor, Jess, I've talked about, she's like, I have those and I hand them out. And then like, my, friend Glenda that I hooked you up from, from Tennessee. Sewanee. Is it Tennessee? Is that the right state?
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah. She messaged me and she said she bought her grandson a whole bunch of them to do that, to hand them out. But she's like, he has like a whole troop of Jesus because he can't bear to part with any of them.
I know. I feel that way. I feel like I want all of these. I don't want, like, I'm not sure I'm going to give them. No, I am giving them away.
I guess we got to order you more. That's why they're like probably making billions of dollars. But I bring this up because it's so like, cute. The more, I don't know, I'm just seeing things more and more, I don't know about you, of like the mind or all of the oneness, like really being like Kris Jenner, you and I, like, I did Through the Lens. And then recently at Christmas time, some of your healing came through, watching their Christmas and how elaborate it was and then comparing to yours.
Their podcast episode with Chloe and Chris on Christmas. It's Chloe's
is that what it was?
Podcast. She had Chris on, and they talked about Christmas traditions, and it was just that's where I think it came from. They have such beautiful traditions and so much love and family and just sharing it with others. And it just really was like, whoa. I just thought it was so beautiful.
Yeah. I just had to bring that up because I haven't told you yet. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting messages left and right of people being like, I have these, or, oh my gosh, I want these. And I'm like, next thing you know, like it's there's gonna be little baby Jesuses everywhere you go.
Well, I don't know if you can do this, but I sent you the picture of, I took him to the beach and put him in the sand.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day.
Yep.
And I sent that picture of him, the little Jesus in the sand. And I sent it to my sisters and maybe a few friends or something. And my one sister called me and said, where did you get that? And I said, oh, Joy, my friend Joy gave it to me. I said, but I also, because Joy gave it to me, I sent it to my Ashley and I sent it to my coaching ladies. And she was like, oh, I thought maybe my friend Erin gave it to you. And like, but just like the connections of people that love the gesture of Jesus loves you. And here's a little thing to remind you.
Well, and I mean, the other like thing, I feel like for you and I, deeper we've gone into our relationship, the more we see how we're going through the same exact thing. Or like, like we always seem to like call each other when we're thinking of the other person, or text each other, or send something exactly. It's like the vessel is clearer and clearer for the 2x2. At least that's what I see. And like with the little Jesuses was freaking huge. So prior to Christmas, I kept getting bombarded with ads for these little Jesus on Instagram, and they were holding like a Black Friday sale or whatever. And I literally went to their site multiple times and put them in my cart. And I even said to Pat, I was like, oh my gosh, I should get these little baby Jesuses. And I don't know, we had a discussion and I never went through with it for some reason. And then we were out at the farm, and it was like such a magical, wonderful place, which of course we had to be open to accepting the love that was there. And then we wake up on Christmas Day and there's no power. Yeah. And I messaged, oh, yeah, I had to message the group because we were supposed to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I messaged everyone and said, hey, we don't have any power, should be back on soon. And then Julie messaged a little bit later and said, you have a gift waiting for you at the Airbnb. So mind you, we were house sitting at the farm, and then we had the Airbnb for after we were done. But like in the in-between, we could keep our stuff there. And so then I messaged you back and said, well, we found out power's not coming back on until maybe noon. So we actually have to head to the Airbnb. So perfect. And by this time, I was so much in just like anger and like irritation, and Pat and I were like spatting, and it was just like a heaviness. And I remember thinking like, all right, there's no way I can do this lighthouse like call. We had just scheduled it as like, hey, we all want to touch base on Christmas. And I was like, I can't freaking do this. Like, I'm crabby. I don't want to do it. And then I get to the Airbnb, and we're just frustrated and irritated. And finally I'm like, okay, fine. I can do it. Like, even for a couple minutes, like Julie wanted to do it. Let's do this. And then my gifts were there, and I hadn't opened them yet. And I get on the call, and you're on there, and I open them, and they're little baby Jesuses. And it was like it was such a miracle moment and such a shift in perspective. And like, I remember thinking like, dang it, this call was actually for me. Like, I was like thinking it was for everyone, but I think that's the beauty like of Lighthouse too, is that there is no hierarchy. So, a lot of times, I don't know where I was going with that other than those little baby Jesuses that sat in my cart forever and I never bought, literally were like the Christmas miracle.
Well, let's do the timeline real quick, because I remember I saw Joy on Monday. The Monday before Christmas was on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Monday, I had lunch with my friend Joy. She gave me the baby Jesus. Tuesday, woke up and I was like, I'm going to get on Amazon and see if I can send these to my girls in my Lighthouse group and get it there on Christmas Eve, because I want it. Like, thank God for Amazon sometimes, because they can do it in a day. Right. So I was so joyful, though, that morning as I was like searching for which one can I get to them the next day, because I wanted everyone to have it on Christmas Eve. And yours, thankfully, came on Christmas Eve. 2 out of the 3 ladies got it on Christmas Eve. And yours came late on Christmas Eve, and I didn't tell you before that because I went to bed, and then the next morning all that stuff happened with your place. So,
which is perfect because we literally stopped at the Airbnb on Christmas Eve because my mom sent a package that came. And so by yours getting there late on Christmas,
like 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. or something.
I mean, I still would have been so excited on Christmas, like, oh my gosh, Julie got baby Jesus. But it would not have, I don't think, because this was literally like Jesus saying, hey, even though you're in a crappy space, I love you. And I might be a tiny little plastic guy and 30 of me.
I know. That's what I mean. I felt that. I felt so happy. I was like, God, I'm really crazy happy ordering these little plastic things for my friends. And then I was like, you know what? One of the ladies wasn't going to get it till after Christmas. And I was like, well, then that's what's meant to happen for her. That's the day she needs it. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I think that like the trust that, yeah, that you just like shared, like you just trusted every inkling about anything, and it just like it was exactly what I needed to remember the truth. I mean, because I still would have gone on the lighthouse call, but I probably would have just
Yeah.
like it would have been harder, a harder shift from the ego to
Yeah.
and now we're just spreading it left and right. Like I told you that, so the house sitting place I house it at,
Yeah.
it appeared that maybe the kids go to like a church school. They appeared to have a belief in God and stuff, I guess I would say. Because also I'm not here to like, force Jesus upon anyone, but just remind those that are waiting for the remembrance. And so we were house sitting there, and I hid a couple of them in the house, like on a windowsill and on a mirror. And then the owner messages me, and she's like, I know you didn't leave these, but did our house cleaners, because the house cleaners came before we got there, because sometimes they leave us stuff from their church. And I was like, actually, I did. I'm sorry. And she's like, no, my kids have had so much joy this morning. How many are there? And I'm like, there's only 2. And she goes, oh my gosh, they're re-hiding them. I thought they were everywhere, but they're like re-hiding them throughout the house and just loving these little Jesuses. And so I was like, sweet. Well, when we come back again, I'll hide more and I'll tell you how many there are, like a little treasure hunt.
Yeah.
But it's just like
I feel a better version, a different version, not better, a different version of Elf on the Shelf.
Oh yeah, but this Jesus isn't like, if you're naughty, then I'm gonna tell God. He doesn't say that. That's what Elf on the Shelf says to Santa.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's his job. Yeah, that's his job to like. He's like one of Santa's helpers that comes to the house. And essentially is watching you, and at night he goes back to the North Pole and reports. So it's another, parenting control tactic. Still fun though. I mean, everything.
I'm sure
can have its funness. Yeah. So I don't know. How have you been feeling though? How are things been?
Yeah, after Lighthouse on Monday, I think so I'm leaving for Oxford next week, meaning I'm moving back to Oxford. And that means I'm packing up again and, packing up all my things and selling my car and leaving Florida again and getting the things I came here to do, getting those completed. And on Monday, at least, I was feeling like I have this list of things I need to do. And I think the old mindset was like, oh my God, just like get them done so that you can enjoy your time. But once we spoke, I think I just got it out. Like it was in there, and I wasn't super stressed. I talked to Scott yesterday, and she's like, although you were saying you were stressed and you felt like you had a laundry list of things, she goes, but I still felt peace. You still felt peaceful. And I said, yeah, it's that I think I'm in that middle of there's things to do in the world because I have stuff I have to do to leave on Tuesday, to fly out of this place. And just logistics, right? And yet, so I think my mind wanted to start making it like a bigger deal than it was. Cause I'm like, as we discussed, anything that will happen. What is meant to happen will happen. And if I don't do everything perfectly, if I don't go get a new suitcase, if I don't, whatever the things are on my list, it's like, if you don't do it, if I don't get my driver's license renewed, which is something I want to do, and there's some pieces that have to fall into place, then it wasn't the right time for it. And that's okay. So I just needed to kind of, I think the group reiterated to me, like, it'll happen when it's meant to happen. And you worrying about it doesn't make it better. It just makes you stressed. It just makes you feel not good. And so since then, I've been great. I've done like 10 loads of laundry and packed
You
my
did?
bag.
Because you texted me the other day and you're like, or no, the group. I don't know. I get confused. Whatever.
Yeah.
I got a message from Julie out from the
Yeah.
ethers that you're like, I just felt inspired and I did this and I did a load of laundry is kind of
Yeah,
the
no,
last
I've done
update.
all the laundry. I packed the bag.
Packed a bag? You don't ever pack bags this far in advance.
It's crazy. Because I did because it's clothes that I'm not wearing right now.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just laundered everything and put it in the suitcase.
Wow.
Because I wanted to know if I needed to get another checked bag to go with. Because I'm going to probably go buy some new clothes. But
side note.
I did yesterday, I went online and got an instant cash offer on my car. And it took like 2 minutes.
That was huge. And remember, that was like such a weighty thing. God, was that 2 weeks ago? And like how
At least.
like,
I mean, I've been worrying about it. Should I sell the car? Should I not sell the car? Should I give it to my friend? Should I leave it here? What should I do? What should I do? And when I was with my friend Paul over New Year's, and he and his partner both told me they had experiences with selling their car to CarMax or whatever, one of those instant offer places.
Yep.
So I was like, and he said, you have once you get the offer, you have 7 days. So I was like, okay, on Wednesday, which was yesterday, I have 7 days till I leave.
Oh, perfect.
So I
I
just did it when I woke up yesterday morning. I was like, let me just see. And it was, a nice offer. And I sent it. My friend I'm staying at her place. She might buy it. I sent her the offer. I said, here's what they're going to give me. If you want it, here's the amount. If you don't want it, it's fine. I'm just going to drop it to them on Tuesday. And that was it. And I was done.
But I think it goes to like all of the like unnecessary, all the unnecessary weight and the realization that it was just stories unwinding, and I think like that's really the surrender place you came to with the car. At one point it was just like, oh, these are stories, because like, like the video I did on my car, very similar to me. Like our cars were kind of an extension. They were our safety place.
Yeah.
They were our like escape. They were all these things tied into
a lot of things. They were
our individuality. And I think for you as well as me, a lot of that started after our divorces. If it was kind of like our little spaceships in a way.
Yeah.
Of being held.
And for me, it was this thing, and I told my friend that might buy the car, I said, look, I treated this car just like I treated my house that I sold. I pour money into it, meaning not because there was anything wrong with it, like prevention, like preventative things, because I care about it and I want it to be good. Like you said, it was an extension of me. So I took care of it. Like, I don't think everybody does that. To have a car that you're like, every year I go to the dealer and let them do all the things that they want to do to make sure that the car is good, so that I don't have any issues. And so it is definitely, it's a 7-year-old baby? A 7-year-old baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so it felt that way. Yeah.
Well, and it's such a testament to how like our stories get so wrapped in those things
like
around
money.
us. Yeah, like anything.
For sure, pouring money into it, pouring energy into it, caring for it.
I mean, you might as well have been a kid. Same.
Yeah, like protecting it, parking far away from everyone else for 7 years because I didn't want anyone to ding it. Like all the things.
And then now you saw, like, when it was time to part with it potentially, and some other stuff came up about, the brakes and whatever. Like, it showed you the stories that it's been hiding behind. Like, the stories that were hiding behind the car, I guess you could say, and what the story of the car was, and trying to essentially bubble wrap the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing I want to say about the car is that something I've learned from our coaching is that the oneness. So my friend who I'm staying in her place right now, she may buy the car. Mm-hmm. And so let's just say she buys the car. Mm-hmm. All of the things I did to care for this car, to take care of this car, to make sure it's good, it's safe, it looks good, all the things. Ultimately, I'll be thrilled if she buys the car and because I know I cared for it and it's a good car for her.
Yeah.
So that I feel like I was doing it for me, but also there for the extension of me. She's the extension of me. Mm-hmm. But even if it's not her, and even if it goes to CarMax on Tuesday, I've been saying it's crazy, but I've been saying every time I get in the car, I'm like, well, we're going to find you a new home and someone's going to love you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good for someone else also. I did it because that's what is it's meaningful to me. Mm-hmm. And I care about it not just for me, mm-hmm. but for my sister had it for a little bit. Maybe Colleen, my friend, will have it. Maybe someone else will have it. But it's still, I still care that it's good for someone else too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it goes into the preferences again. And that's a preference you had of you wanting to care for this car, and we know when we had this conversation recently, we know at the end of the day, if it's going to break down, it's going to break down no matter what you do or don't do. But your preferences were used to do all those things, right? To be at the oil changes on these days, to interact with those people. I mean, most recently with the brake inspection thing, that was totally a Bruce Almighty moment. And we talk about Bruce Almighty moments, I guess anyone listening, if you haven't watched the movie, watch it. Yeah. Bruce Almighty is asking for a sign, and literally there's signs everywhere. And you were struggling with the story of brakes because it shouldn't be broken. My brakes shouldn't be, because what you were just saying, I care for this. I take care of it. I take it to the dealer. And you were super apprehensive about doing it. Which again is the push-pull of the shiny, right? You wanted it to be safe, so you took care of it. But the moment that it might not be, you're I'm pretending. I'm not going to go have it checked out. And then that day, it was a lighthouse day. You finally, that was the day you surrendered, and you drove a different route somewhere that you were going, and there was a massive sign that said, free brake check.
Yep, free brake check.
And it just was easeful. But that's the Bruce Almighty. Free, here's Julie, I don't want to get my brakes checked. I don't need to. And then
I don't need
surrenders. And then it's literally God or Jesus or whatever you want to call the greater being out there is right here. Right.
Yeah, that's what it was. And at least I wasn't Bruce Almighty, and I actually paid attention. Mm-hmm. Listened.
Exactly. But who knows how many free brake signs there was until you surrendered.
Until then, yeah, maybe.
But you were never meant to. I mean, I think that's the beautiful part, too, is everything's happening exactly as it should. And that's why, too, it's you've had all these different thoughts about the car. Oh, should I leave it with my sister? Should I do this? Yeah. Should I not drive it to Florida? Should I blah, blah? And you were never meant to do any of those. And at one time, selling it was off the table completely. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But you're I'm not, and there was just so much resistance to it. And the moment that all resistance was removed, it just was and it's still, we're still in it right now, but it's the same for anything. It's that resistance just keeps us in. It's not that stuff at the level of form doesn't happen, but it just makes us so hyper aware and keeps us in time and space, and time just moves so slowly and so awful. Because even when we were in Bon Air, Julie, and we both just surrendered to the fact that you were I don't have to stay here. If I don't have to stay the entire time. And us, it was we don't have to come back. And the second we both were
I know.
Oh yeah, we're grown ass adults.
That was quite a experience going to Bonaire. I just told my friend this morning about it,
Oh God,
about
what?
how, my intention for being there was to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore I didn't do any research or anything on, I didn't, and what, I don't know what that I would have, no matter what,
It
but
wouldn't have mattered, I
being
don't
on an
think.
island, I didn't realize it's over 100 degrees and it's an island, and it's being in a place that's maybe not as comfortable, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
if every place doesn't have air, and it's an outdoor environment.
Mm-hmm.
And coming out of England, basically, where the hottest it was 80 degrees or whatever over the summer, I was just like so miserable. I felt so miserable with the weather. It was just really tough. It was really tough.
But
But like
like,
you said, then you had to say to me, like, you have permission to leave. If you want to
yeah.
leave, don't stay if that's what's holding you back
Mm-hmm.
from making that choice.
But it's like, again, it was never about the weather. That was like the preference that was used to help us release, because like the moment you got to that place, all of a sudden all this stuff lined up. Like that lady had this
Yeah.
place that had the air co, and like
Hmm.
I feel like the last couple weeks you were there, last week, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah, the last week.
was just so miraculous and beautiful and just
Hmm.
so filled with, yeah, such wonderful connections and interactions. I mean, even with, people that maybe the interactions weren't great to begin with, like it was such a like
Yeah.
360 or
Yeah,
180,
it
not
was.
360. 360 goes all the way
180.
back around.
180. 180.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
was.
Hmm. That was
Yeah,
definitely a pivotal moment for both of us, or pivotal place in the mind
it
for both of
was.
us. And I
Because,
don't
like you
think
said,
we could have
I think
ventured
it
it
wasn't.
alone.
Yeah, I don't think I could have done it without you literally saying, like, if you need permission to leave. Because there were so many stories of, I committed to coming here for 5 weeks. I paid to come here for 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I am here to be with Ashley for this amount of time. There's so many things coming up, like,
Yeah.
and staying at that one place with another person that I didn't know, and it was uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
telling myself, just deal with it. You signed up for this. It's fine. He's not that bad. It's not that bad. You'll
Mm-hmm.
just work through it. And
Yeah.
I kept coming back to, like, why am I telling myself I have to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks when you pay for something and then you don't like it and you want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks. I agree. But also, are you going to sit in it and let it suck for 3 weeks, more weeks, or 4 more weeks? Or are you going to say,
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't work out?
Well, and I think it plays into like, it, I think so many people probably can relate that are listening, unless it's just me and you that ever listen to this. Might be like, I always tell Evelina when we record, I'm
Well,
like, it's
it
just
works
me,
for
me and
me.
Julie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like, it works for me. I'll
right.
always listen to it.
Me too. But the no pain, no gain. Like we've
Mm,
been taught that, like, unless you're dying, right, you
yeah,
must push through it because this is going to
just
make you
suffer,
stronger.
basically.
Yeah. And I feel like our journey together and apart, like that has been the hugest like thing in my journey, is like literally you never have to suffer. Like you can
Yeah,
grow, and I mean I feel like some of my greatest growth has occurred when I'm not suffering,
right.
you
Oh,
know? And
yeah. Yeah, because I think when I was feeling so miserable about the temperature, or that's what I was focused on, I couldn't kind of see past it. I
no
couldn't see some other things, and it, like you said, if you
opportunities.
hadn't been there, I would have bailed, like, in
Mm-hmm.
an instant. I would have been like, no. But I did get to stay for a little bit longer. I did get to have beautiful connections with the rental car people and at different restaurants, and Kayla, the yoga instructor,
Yeah.
and your friends that you met. there that were so kind to me. And just like a lot, actually, if you think about it. I was only there for 3 weeks.
I know, but I felt
So
like
there
a
were
lot
actually
happened.
kind of a lot of connections that happened in 3 weeks.
Very
And
true. And
I was
most of them, I feel like it was
pretty,
like the last week they really
yeah,
like
probably because I was
flourish.
kind of freed from it. Yeah, I was kind of freed. I'd made the decision to book a flight. So I was therefore free to just enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
And
surrender. You were in like a place of
yeah,
surrender. The stories weren't controlling you. The just
yeah,
deal with it and push through it. You'll be stronger on
yeah.
the other
You're like,
end.
you
Wasn't
paid for
playing.
this. Just, yeah, just go sit in it and deal with it. And I'm like, no, I don't
Right.
think I'm going to do that. It's funny though, as a grown woman, the fact that I even have that thought, like, well, I paid for this, so I'm going to just stick with it. And it's like, why? But why?
Mm-hmm.
And that tells you something about the work I'm doing, which is that's something I've taught myself, which is like, well, I paid for it,
Yeah.
so I'm committed, and
Right.
therefore I can't change my path. Or
Mm-hmm.
I think that speaks to a lot of, when I coach people on career transition,
Yeah.
and it's very similar to that.
Like I went to school
People,
for it. I've built a
yeah.
name in it.
Or I took this job and they're paying me X amount, whatever it is, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, I can't see my way out of it because this is the path I'm on. And it's
Yeah.
like all the work you and I do and with Lighthouse that we do is pull off all of those obligatory, expectations to say
Layers.
like, well, but what's going to make you really happy? Because you're in an energy and a space that is forced.
Yeah.
And you're not doing your best work because none of us do our best work. Like I wasn't the best version of myself in Bon Air
Yeah.
because I felt like I was forced to be in a
Mm-hmm.
space that I wasn't happy with. And then I felt kind of trapped a little bit. And so I'm like, this is not the best version of me. But yet,
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I did meet beautiful people who really were very kind to me. And I'm very grateful for that.
But I think the last week your best version was there. There was people like acknowledging the light that was. And
Yeah.
we went to that
Yeah.
like event, that
Yeah.
vocal
The comedy
whatever.
show.
No, we'll get into that too. The vocal thing, the vocal liberation.
The
Yeah.
retreat-ish, the
I
retreat
remember
thing.
how
Yeah.
grateful that lady was. Like, so it's so interesting that like how others can start
Yeah.
to notice it as well. But when we're like talking like this, Julie, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, could you imagine like how big of an upset it would be to the personal development world if like people like really believed us, first of all, right? Because this is one of those things that you're like, yeah, but until you've really surrendered fully to it, but you have to surrender to the point to receive everything that comes after. You can't like surrender and then
Yeah.
take it back. But like if all of a sudden everyone just believed, oh, I never will do anything again that causes suffering.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? Because literally the whole like personal development is based on that. Like, even like, I mean, I'm not saying these things are awful. And I did it for like a year straight, like cold showers, I'm thinking. I did them for a year straight. And I remember enjoying them. And I think probably when I got back into personal development before I really went down the spirit development, I remember retrying them and they were miserable. I was like, how did I ever do this before? And I remember feeling shame and guilt, like you can't even do it. But what it's really telling me is like, that's not meant to be a part of the story. So like,
Right.
So that's what we're talking about. It's not that you don't ever do anything that's uncomfortable. And we talk about
No.
that a lot too. Like we do a lot of uncomfortable things.
Oh my gosh.
But if you feel
that
like
still
you're
happens.
suffering, that's not it. And that's, you were talking about talking to Scott yesterday about your to-do list and all that stuff. Like, that's what she pointed out is like, granted, there were some stories we talked about and released. Yes. You were in discomfort, but the peace was still there. So that means you weren't in this like sacrifice, I bear my own cross mentality, but instead we're like experiencing the discomfort of the normal change at the level of form, right? Like we're not saying like you're not a human.
Normal.
Yeah, like
I'm moving And there's stuff to do.
Yeah.
And
you can be at peace internally and look like a chaotic mess on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's what we talked about, and not to, be marketing for Advil, but their slogan is no pain, more gain.
Yeah.
And I love
they
that.
got it. See, the mind's waking up.
No suffering. Like, you don't need to, no pain. You don't need to suffer. And then you actually benefit more.
Not even need. You don't want to.
No pain. Well, you don't want to, for sure. But because again, I never see commercials. It's so random
I know when you said that to me, I'm like, what the hell are you even watching? Like,
I think
you watch streaming
I might have had
shit?
friends. I might have had friends on cable or something. For a minute, because I don't watch cable. I don't watch commercials. Yeah. But somewhere I saw that, and it just I laughed because I was like, the no pain, no gain has been the thing for so long. Mm-hmm. And then now their slogan is no pain, more gain. And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm going to live by. No pain, more gain.
Yeah. And Advil's a little magical pill. I mean, because we talk about magic. Everything in level form is magic. Yeah, that was so good when you, like, I had to reread it. And funny, we even brought it up in Lighthouse.
I'm sure you were like, what is she talking about?
Well, I was kind of like, did I read that right? Because we're so used to that slogan, no pain, no gain. Uh-huh. And remember, even Scott in the Lighthouse call, later she's like, yeah, no pain, no gain. We're like, no, Scott, that's not what it said.
No, we're saying more gain.
Yeah, more gain.
I like it.
I think it's perfect. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think the biggest, as I think about like the examples that we've talked about here just in the last hour of, we're not saying that you're not meant to have some discomfort. Discomfort is an indicator of change, growth, whatever you want to say, but it doesn't have to feel painful. Mm-hmm. You can choose. And I think what was happening on Monday before we had Lighthouse was to-do list, and like I was choosing on some level to be like, I should be doing more. I should be doing more each day, because then I can get through the list of things to prepare to leave faster. And once we talked and just kind of brought me back, I was like, yeah, if I do the laundry and run all my errands the day before I leave, so be it.
Yeah.
So that's what it helped me do. And then, of course, the next day I woke up and I was like, oh, well, I feel good now. So I'm just going to do all my laundry. I didn't even say I'm going to do all my laundry. I just said, just start a load of laundry and take the stuff out of the laundry and put it in the suitcase. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing that, and I did it over the last 2 days. And now the suitcase is packed with all my stuff here.
Right. So beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we also were talking about, like, we only experience, like, if we are experiencing pain, right, we're only experiencing it, first of all, because we don't see the purpose. But
right.
But it doesn't mean that there's purpose in pain. Like that, like you can't, that's not a flip. You can't flip it. You can't flip it. It's just about Advil's. Like, here we go. Like, I know. Not telling you to take medicine, but
they
Advil
need to pay
did
us
good.
for this.
Whoever is the marketing expert for Advil can see the mind awakening for sure.
Yeah, like no pain. You don't need to have pain.
Yeah. So it's not about having a statement of like, you only experience pain because you don't see the purpose, or you see no purpose. It's not about taking that and being able to switch it and say, oh, so there's purpose in the pain. No. Like the goal is never pain. We could go, like, we could talk about that forever, because essentially, we were talking to the other day with your to-do list. Yeah. We were even talking about like,
is it causing
excitement
you pain?
And anxiety are felt the same way.
For anxiety. Oh, right.
Yeah, remember? And then we're like, is this and then like you just saw your whole like demeanor change into like a little kid of like, oh yeah, this is excitement. I mean, maybe there was No, I don't think so. I think you've done so much like unwinding of stories that I think you have the ability to see it all as excitement. I mean, especially just like where you've come and like releasing yourself from needing physical items. Like, yeah, and your just ability to see things so different. Like we talked about all. So remember the time you told us, "Oh, my flight back." Sorry, I'm making a funny voice because Julie went to London Heathrow and she's like, "It was empty. It was like a ghost town. It was so peaceful,
it was so quiet."
And we're like, "That's not possible." No. Like London Heathrow,
it's not possible. But I was like, well, I will say this is a good story because I got to the airport and I took the bus for the first time ever in my life. Not in my life, maybe, but it's in a long time.
A long time.
I took the bus because there's an efficient system from Oxford to Heathrow. It's just, that's one bus. And I sat next to this lovely woman and we spoke the whole time and she was so beautiful and we just had a great chat and like, boom, we're at the airport. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. I was like, we're already here. So I get out, walk out, and I don't remember, don't hold me to the times, but it was numbers like, I come out of the bus station to walk into the airport and it's like 11:11, 12, something like that. It was like a notable number right when I walked out and there was like a screen and it says 11:11. And I go, okay, that's a good sign. So I walk in. I have to check a bag. Check my bag. There's nobody there. Check my bag.
There's nobody there.
And there's nobody there. There's like one person in front of me, I think. Check my bag. Walk out. It's 11:11, keep in mind. I walk out, and the guy even says to me, oh, God, security might be a problem. You know, it's going to be busy. And I go, oh, okay, well, I have about 2 hours. I'm okay. Mm-hmm. And I go through security, boom, walk right through security. I'm on the other side. I go right up to a Mexican restaurant because that's my favorite thing is Mexican food. And I sit down at only 20 minutes have passed. I checked a bag, walked through security, got to a Mexican restaurant at noon-ish and sat down. Mm-hmm. And I looked at and I went,
at London Heathrow, everyone.
At
London
Heathrow. Not, nowhere, no sub airport at Heathrow. Yeah. And I looked at my watch and it was 20 minutes had passed. And I went, what's going on? I was like, what just happened? It was crazy. And I told you guys, I was like, it's so peaceful here. I don't know what's going on.
And we still use that as like a lamppost moment of like when someone's like, oh, it's chaos. And then we're always like, but remember, that's your perception. Because remember, Julie claimed that no one was at London Heathrow, which unless all of a sudden she became a billionaire and reserved the entire airport, I highly doubt that's possible.
No. But that was the 20 minutes though. I just still think, and especially because when the guy's like, oh, security could be bad for you. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And I was still like, even when I said that to him, I was like, okay, that'll be fine. And I walked through security, sit down in a restaurant, only 20 minutes have passed. It was the best. I loved it. It was the best day ever.
Perception. I mean, it just goes to show that like perspective is everything and anything. That's all you have. And even, we could go down rabbit holes with this as well of like the metaphysics, but that's not the point of this. But essentially like time doesn't really exist. I mean, that's proven by science and stuff. So when you're really in the present moment and you're receiving the miracle, like bodies no longer exist, time no longer exists. Therefore you were the only one there because there's only one here. And True. Of course it only took 20 minutes because really while you were in that oneness, there was no time. So it was just whatever, just your brain was able to accept. Because we also talk about like spirit never gives you a pee your pants moment. Like it'll never make you, like if you would have looked at 20 minutes is still unbelievable. But if you would have looked at it, was like,
I should have taken photos because I was like seriously like, it's only been 20 minutes. I don't understand what just happened.
But it was
That's
like,
crazy.
it gave you enough time to at least still accept it. But if literally you would have looked at your watch and it was still 11:11, you would have had a pee your pants moment. That would have been a pee your pants moment. I'd be like,
I'm in a movie. I'm in a movie.
Which you are. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Oh,
yeah,
well.
That's a good one.
Oh my God, this has been so good to just like chat and
thank you.
remember some of our connections together.
You're setting me up. Sorry, I keep messing with my hair because I'm like, oh gosh, it's like sticking out. I'm not used to having it down. I'm in Florida, so I'm used to having it in a ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, what's going on here?
Like seeing yourself.
It's helping me too. Part of the reason I said yes, I wanted to do this was because since I am traveling next week, and although seemingly I'm more organized than I've ever been,
right?
I'm like, but regardless, when you're going on a little bit of a journey, there's always some stuff that you're just a little worried about. So I'm like, well, let's just, again, like we did on Monday, like let's just talk it out and be like, here's all the examples of times when you were peaceful and in the moment and you surrendered to whatever. Whatever. I don't have a timeline. I don't have to get there on the day that I'm going. Like if I don't have anything, I'm just going. I'm going to start class the next week. Like there's no specific crazy timeline. It's very open.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. And so I just think if I can just stay in this state of allowing things to unfold, then it will unfold the way it's meant to. And I look forward to I always say this, I'm like, I look forward to the people that I will meet on this next journey.
And the
or
miracles
the whomever.
that unfold.
The miracles. Yeah.
And I love because it's just the relinquishment of control, and you've even acknowledged like trying to control the things ahead of time. And when we talked in Lighthouse, Evelina brought up when she has a massive to-do list and checks it off before she goes. And that last trip to Colombia that she talks about in her Homecomings podcast, everything was like perfectly done. And then that's when she forgot her phone in the rental car. And then she finally got to fly business class, but the seat was broken. And
gosh.
Do you remember? And then when she finally just surrendered to everything after like crying, having a breakdown, she had like the most miracle connection to the guy sitting next to her. And like, it was just so beautiful. And so, you're already in that state. And I mean, we could talk about the lovely lady you've already, we have so many more conversations. There's is not our first conversation.
There's so many conversations. I appreciate us talking about the last time I flew back and forth from Heathrow to Florida back in June. And every step of the way, on the way to the airport, like I mentioned, the lady on the bus and then my driver and the flow of 20 minutes through the airport. And then, but on the way back, even from Florida back to Heathrow, I sat next to this lady who, after we sat together, said to me, "You were the most delightful person to sit next to on this plane." And just like, it was so peaceful. And she even said, like, it's not usually very peaceful when you sit next to somebody and they irritate you or whatever happens and like they're just annoying. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I just can't believe how wonderful it was to sit next to you." And I was like, okay, thank you. Yeah. So it's a good reminder to stay in that, just to keep yourself focused on being in the present and knowing that whoever I'm sitting next to is, meant to be. And we'll see what unfolds. We go.
Well, we'll be curious to see how your perception is, because again, we know you did not reserve London Heathrow as much as we want you to be a billionaire, but instead you just perceived it that way. And so that means the stories were out of the way to receive, the miracle. And I think that's
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for coming on. I'm so grateful for every conversation we have, and I'm so excited for what's to come in the future, and we all wish you safe travels.
Thank you.
Yeah, so much
I'll
love.
see you in the red chair
Yes. Next time Julie will be on, she will be in a red chair.
in Oxford. In
That's our
Oxford, in a
favorite
red chair, a red leather chair, which is beautiful. That'll be the next
Yes.
time you see me.
Yes. So much love. Bye.
Okay, take care.